All right, hello everyone. Coming up on FTC Top 25, we have 25 amazing teams comprised of your votes from the community. We'll count down the list, give some insights into these teams, have a couple giveaways, and more. So let's get ready for the February FTC Top 25.
This video on fun is brought to you by our viewers, supporters, members, and also in partnership with the following. Quantum Robotics is everything your team needs to build, learn, and compete. Check out their FTC starter kit, intake hub kit, and odometry wheel options at studica.com/robots. Teams in the USA can get up to 25% off and apply for grants at studica.com/robots. True competitors know that every second counts. That's why Kettering University challenges you to dive in right away as a first-year student. Participating in robotics programs helps Kettering students secure a valuable co-op. Whatever your interest, Kettering gives you more space to work faster and win faster. Learn more at kettering.edu/first.
Hello everyone, and welcome to FTC Top 25, where we reveal the top 25 teams you voted for. From FUN FTC, I'm Abhas, and joining me tonight are Anthony, Arjun, Rahul, and our producer behind the scenes, Tyler. We're excited to have you all tonight as we have our fourth FTC Top 25 for the Into the Deep season, and for so many of you to participate in voting for FTC Top 25. Remember that for a team to be eligible for our Top 25, they must have competed in an official Into the Deep event. That's not so much a problem at this point in the season, but just making sure everyone knows. So make sure next month you keep an eye out for when voting opens to cast your votes. And we also have reveal night coming out in 2 months. So that's super exciting. Tonight we have giveaways from SparkFun and Studica Robotics. So stay tuned to hear how you can enter and win those. We also want to give a shout out to FTC Scout, who we are utilizing some of the data from. With that, let's get right into the February top 25. So starting us off is Team 21239, All Systems Go from Louisville, Kentucky. This team is just awesome. They're currently 18-0, and every match they've played has been a top 20 score in Kentucky, which is pretty sick. We just did a behind the bot with them, and that was released yesterday, so I recommend you all check that out after tonight's show. They're currently 20th by OPR and 14th in Teleop globally. And to me, All Systems Go has really mastered the vertical lift. I mean, you can see it in this match, and it's just really, really cool. They have one of the most robust and technically sound counter swinging systems I've seen in FTC with their torsion spring. The wiring on the lift is super, super solid. And as a whole, it's just really fast, even though they have so much mass with that horizontal extension on it. So I think any teams looking to improve their vertical slide game just needs to check out this behind the bot and this team as a whole. And in a year with 3-team alliances at Worlds, I could easily see them being the second pick of the World's winning alliance. And I think adding a level 3 hang and a few more cycles in auto would really make them one of those either first pick or captains going into Worlds. Yeah, Rahul, you have anything you want to add with this team?
Yeah, so fun fact about All Systems Go, they used to be based in San Diego, and I had competed with them, and they're a very strong team. And seeing them bring this this great horizontal system on the vertical side to Kentucky is really fast and really impressive with their numbers so far this year.
Awesome. Yeah, Anthony, let's go on to 24.
At 24, we have 25538 ARRA from Romania. With an OPR of 194.64, that puts them at rank 24th in the world, this is really an accomplishment for a second-year team. Their turreted bot is what really caught my eye when I was watching the Romanian competition. Their opt-on consists of being able to hit 5 specimen, and whenever you see the turret, they use that in auto and most of the time. So we'll see it, and then they use it to sweep in. And it's interesting because whenever they're grabbing during teleop, they don't actually use their turret. They only use it when they're scoring specimen, which is really interesting to me. They boast a 9-second total level 3 hang as well. And it's one that's really going to give Romania a run for their money. And they could only optimize their auto to give it more specimen. And they could be a big contender as the Romania Championship comes along. And I'll be curious to see what they do and how they perform in Romania, being this good already for a second-year team.
Totally. Yeah, I think that like picking up the specimen sideways definitely just cuts down their driving distance a little, which is huge for cycle times, obviously. So I'm really interested to see if we see any other teams implement similar stuff. But Romania Nationals is going to be crazy. We're going to be talking about Romania teams all night. So I can't wait. But yeah, Arjun, do you want to go into number 23?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So at number 23, we have team 10091 N.Y.A.N Robotics from Mundelein, Illinois. With an OPR of a staggering 202.5, they've consistently showcased top tier performance, and their active intake is really one of the best out there, and it achieves unparalleled accuracy. Their precision, speed, and execution make them a really formidable competitor. N.Y.A.N Robotics' autonomous programs are highly refined, and honestly, their match adaptability is like really impressive. As they continue to fine tune their robot and strategy, they are shaping up to become a major contender at the world level. This is a team to watch as the season progresses.
Yeah, Anthony, anything you want to add on Nyan?
Yeah, I really like their 4 bar that scores out. I'm curious if they were able to run specimen, if they're able to grab out the front or score out the front. I'm not sure because that's something I see with teams that have arms similar to that, but it just looks really efficient. And I'm curious to see how they can improve it from here on out.
Totally, yeah, and they'll be competing again this weekend at the Illinois Championship. So let's see how that goes. But I'm sure they'll have a strong showing. Rahul, you want to talk about Team 22?
Yeah, in the 22nd spot, we've got another one of our Romanian teams on this long list of 16166 What's Up. And currently with the 12th ranked OPR of 209.49, they've brought another classic orange and blue color robot this year with some very fast horizontal extension using a linkage and a claw-to-claw transfer that's really efficient for scoring sample. And as you can see in this practice match, they're just one of the best sample teams out there in the world. And going into the World Championships, where last year they were able to qualify out of it from going to the Romanian Championship, where last year they were able to make it to the World Championship. It's going to be really interesting to see how they do at this very anticipated Romanian Championship, and I wish the best of luck, and hopefully we'll see them at future events as well, such as Worlds or Premier events.
Yeah, I mean, last year I feel like every time they came up on top 25, we kept talking about their claw and like how fast it was. I think this year is no exception. They've really mastered the claw game. So I'm excited to see, how they carry it through and what they bring to Romanian nationals. Trying to defend that title is a very, very tall task. But they're totally up to it. So let's see how they're doing. On the topic of Houston, let's go back to Texas. So at Team 21 in 21st place, we have team 23213 Open Source from Houston, Texas. Open Source had their Houston Regional Championship about 10 days ago. They walked away as the winning alliance captain, so punching them a ticket to the World Championship. And they're currently 23rd by OPR, 5th in auto, and 20th in teleop. And I talked about open source last month. I think their big profile is super advantageous. They use it really well, but I want to focus on something new tonight. So on clip, we have a screen. We have a on screen. We have a clip of their specimen cycling from their last match, and you can see that they spend like the first minute of the match just collecting specimens, going back and forth. But right here, they are then score 9 specimens in just 35 seconds. This is around a 4-second cycle time, which is absolutely nuts to me. I think we've seen very few teams reach this limit or go lower. So it's super, super impressive. Looking forward to the World Championship. I think that adding the level 3 hang is just really going to improve their game and going to make them much, much more competitive. And if they continue driving how they have, I could totally see them being on an Olymps alliance at Worlds. Yeah. Arjun, anything you want to add?
Yeah, no, I think this is a really solid team. I like their outtake a lot. It moves really fast. It's pretty efficient, and I think it's got a lot of things to learn from.
Cool. Anthony, let's start our top 20.
All right, so at 20, we're going to go back across the seas. We have team 19164 Cristabol from Kazakhstan. This team has an OPR of 213.75, making them ranked 10th in the world. This robot is very fast and nimble, as we can see here, pulling off a 5-specimen Alton with relative ease. They grab off the back of the bot and score out the front, which is something that makes them extremely quickly, as we can see. They scored 9 specimen during the tail part of the match, and this one that's quick, and their driving is top notch with their extension and maneuvering around other bots. It's very good to see teams not being afraid to take risks like this. And to top this amazing off, they have a level 2 ascent that they can hit and at the last second that just propels them up and gives them the extra points they need. From what I can gather, they will be at the World Championship, so I cannot wait to see what they can do for that.
Yeah, I think it's super cool how Kazakhstan, like as a region, has been having more and more competitive teams every season. Last season there were definitely 1 or 2 super competitive teams out of there, so it's nice to see that just like continuing to grow. But yeah, I think you hit a ton of the the high points, Anthony, just really, really fast in general. Arjun, let's talk about Team 19.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go right into it. So at team number 19, we have team 18763 Texpand from Cape Town, South Africa. With an OPR of 182.26, they've proven themselves as one of the most well-rounded teams this season. Their autonomous is sharp, their gameplay is efficient, and they're really able to control their matches. Texpand's speed and precision, especially with their intake as it just flips in really, really fast. I've never seen anything like that. And it really allows them to maximize scoring samples, and their strategy keeps them ahead. As they continue to fine tune their performance, I think these guys are another team that we're going to be seeing as big contenders in Worlds. So it's amazing to see South Africa again there.
Yeah, I mean, Texpand obviously winning alliance from Worlds last year, absolutely incredible. They were the winning alliance in South Africa again. And what's been really interesting to me is how they've changed their intake just a little bit throughout the season. I think last month or 2 months ago, we were talking about how they have that horizontal rail that was pretty interesting. And they were using super effectively, but it looks like since then they've switched just to a pitching arm entirely for that extra manipulation in the intake. And Texpin just has like one of the strongest software teams I would say that we've seen in FTC year after year. So I can't wait to see what they bring to Houston. Anthony, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, like you hit everything. Texpand, they're a really solid team. It's been really cool to see what they've been doing. Yeah, they have really good software, and I mean, I think there's a team that we'll see later down the list that could rival this, but I really like how they've been changing and how they've been improving. I'm glad to see them hopefully be at the World Championship again and can see what they can do this year.
Totally. Rahul, let's talk about 18th.
At number 18, we've got none other than Team 14343 Escape Velocity from Washington with an OPR of 176.87. They're coming off being the winning alliance first pick at the very competitive Washington Championship, and their robot just has so much that other teams can learn from. Pivoting linear slides driven by a linkage on Viper slides, a claw which is really unique with active spinning wheels, a level 3 ascent in under 5 seconds using polycarb sprung hooks. There's just so much to talk about this robot, and I think I just can't wait to see what further improvements they're bringing to that World Championships after qualifying out of the very tough Washington division in the winning alliance with Team I Forgot, and I just can't wait to see what's more coming of them.
Yeah, no, that level 3 ascent is definitely super, super cool. I'm really interested to see how that polycarbonate extension came about. Like, was it something you just tried, or was there a lot of calculations behind it and stuff like that? But no, very cool there, and they're always very competitive. So I'm interested to see, especially if they keep that intake design or if they decide to, try and switch to something else. But on the topic of Washington teams, let's go on to 17th. So here we have Team 19745 Turtle Walkers from Redmond, Washington. They were the Finals Alliance first pick at the Washington State Championship, meaning we could see them at some premier events later this season. Turtle Walker seems to specialize in the specimen cycling with a top 25 teleop OPR. And I think one thing they do really well is depositing the samples into the human player zone. I feel like with a lot of teams, we see them always using their transfer and outtake to give samples to the human players. But Turtle Walkers is really, really effective at just popping a 90-degree turn and extending their intake to place the samples. And I think this does two things. One, obviously, this cuts down your cycle times, because you can use that extension that you already have, and it's not affecting your workspace constraints. But I think the bigger deal with this is that it allows you to stay in the intaking area, meaning your opponents don't have as much freedom to move around, right? Like if you're always going to be right at that half field line, it's very difficult for a team to cross over and try to go onto the other side of the field. It's not impossible by any means, but with the robot as large as turtle walkers and how they drive so well with it, I think it's a huge deal. Arjun, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Turtle Walkers is right. I think they probably did the width of the robot definitely on purpose to kind of get out there, and I think it's a valid strategy. And especially during Worlds, I think we're going to see a lot of these defensive type of actions happening. So yeah.
Totally. All right, Anthony, let's go on.
All right, at number 16, we have Team 15972 TehnoZ from Romania. We have a lot of overseas teams at this one. With an OPR of 182.15, they're ranked 49th in the world. Their Auton consists of a 6-specimen cycle, which they love to boast, bringing their OPR up to 28th in the world. Their fast and nimble drivetrain, combined with their ability to intake specimen from the front, grabbing them out the back and scoring them out the front, They were able to hit 17 specimen total. They had 5 in Auton and 12 in Teleop. They also have a sample scoring capacity, but they prefer to do specimen. One of the things that's special about the bot is the turret intake that allows them to drop the samples out the side of their robot, and it's really helped them improve on their cycle time to drop into the human player station. I cannot wait to see how they improve from here and what they'll look like for the remaining national championship, as they're already extremely competitive, and we've seen more competitive Romanian teams on this list, and so Romania is just going to be crazy, as we all know.
Yeah. Arjun, anything you want to add with them?
Yeah. Honestly, I love Romania. Major fan here. I love Romanian teams. I think they're going to see a lot of representation in Worlds, and hopefully they win.
Yeah, and Rahul, what do you think about TehnoZ?
Yeah, I think the amount of like parallel actions they're able to do is so impressive. When they're dropping off the sample over the side, they're also picking up from the wall at the same time. When they're scoring the specimen, they're getting their intake ready, and that's truly impressive programming in the autonomous side and driver control in the teleop, and it's really breathtaking to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, before we get on to our snubs of the month, I think we're going to run some ads, start some giveaways. Tyler, go ahead.
Yeah, we are going to be starting a giveaway soon for our friends at SparkFun. But before that, let's thank our friends at Kettering University for their continued support of Fun Robotics Network. Kettering University, by the way, if you're looking at applying, scholarships will be closing soon, where they're giving away up to $5,000 a year. And of course, every student who attends Kettering University experiences their cutting edge co-op programs, where they place you with a job while you're in college, making money and going to Kettering University. It's a fully immersive working experience at leading edge parts of the industry. So head on over to kettering.edu/first to learn more about their incredible program and to get some more information. So let's start that giveaway from our friends at SparkFun. It is, once again, for these awesome Otos sensors that they keep giving away here. These are pretty sweet. So if you're interested in winning this, type SparkFun in chat. That's your keyword. We'll be drawing that once we get past our number 16. Don't forget, if you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, just click that little button to get subscribed, stay up to date on all the great content we have coming out, including more behind the bots, and you'll get 3 times luck to win. So SparkFun is the keyword. And also just a quick announcement, a boss alluded to it, but we do have a date set for FTC reveal night, where you can submit your robot reveal getting ready for World Championships. And even if you didn't qualify for Worlds, that's fine. And that will be on April 11th on Friday. So we'll be announcing it a few more times. So once again, April 11th, and that will also be, I believe, the final FTC top 25. Let's send it back to the guys to count into number 15, talk about some snubs.
Awesome. Thanks, Tyler. So it's time for our snubs of the month for February. These are teams that did not make the FTC top 25, and they even landed outside the top 50. But each of us has done our research. We really want to recognize these teams, and we have a pretty good reason why we think they should have made the top 25 this month. So, Anthony, start us off.
My snub is Team 9879 Route -1 from Springdale, Arkansas. Their bot that they competed with last weekend is quick and agile. I learned a lot from them with seeing their robot, because they've gone through multiple robots this season. They have a 6 sample and a 5 specimen Auton to be adaptable with whoever they could be with. They had an average of 13 samples in Teleop, so at the end of matches, they had scored 17 to 18 total. They paired that with a level 2 climb to hit a 374 with 10-355 Project Peacock during playoffs, and a 378 as well. They cleaned up playoffs, not losing once and not even making it close. Their active intake with a color sensor allows for driver feedback LEDs that light up based on the color that they grab, and it speeds them up. And this is something that really helps them stand apart from other people, is the fact that they are able to do that. And if they are sensing an auto and they sense the wrong color, they'll kick it out. And they were the winning alliance captain at Arkansas, so we'll see them at Worlds, and I can't wait to see what they do from here.
Cool. Yeah, Arjun, what about you? Who was your snub?
Yeah. For my stub, I got 23268 Ultraviolet. They were one of the first teams last year in New Jersey to do a differential swerve, and this year they're looking even stronger, working towards the 6+0. They sent some videos out there on YouTube and have a really consistent 5+0 autonomous that shines every single match, giving them a top 40 autonomous point average internationally. And they feature an outtake on rails for faster specimen cycle time and a cloud-based intake. I'm rooting for my side to see this team at Worlds, and they bring something really unique to the table this year.
Yeah, and so, Anthony and Arjun kind of touching on both of these teams together. Do you think it's adding that level 3 hang would kind of secure that top 25 spot, or do you think just seeing them again in competition, they're already there and it's pretty much a done deal?
For Route -1, I think the level 3 climb could definitely add to it, but with this being the first competition that bot has performed at, they were still running through some stuff. So I think if they make more efficient things and then they add that level 3, they'll be on top 25 for sure.
Cool. Yeah, Arjun, what about you?
Yeah, I think honestly more points is always better. More points means a higher score, and I've been seeing matches, especially we had another match in New Jersey in the Southern League where it was literally a win by one singular point, so that determined who would advance to states or not. So I think these types of games and it's really down to point total. So yeah,
Cool.
every
All
point
right,
matters.
Rahul. Let's hear about your snub.
Yeah, so for my snub, I chose to highlight Team 310 Style Fusion Vision with an OPR of 176.10. They recently competed at a New York qualifier and put up some of the fastest sample cycle times so far, having a top 5 sample OPR. And their pocketed box tube pivot and extension speed truly stands out, and their double wheeled intake system is something that's really simple but seems to be quite effective for them. Now, their cycle consistency is something that I think other teams can look into in making sure every cycle has the same path, and it's clear that they've had countless hours of driver practice into this. The New York Championship is next week. I can't wait to see them and see how they perform, and hopefully they'll compete at future events like Worlds or Premier events.
Yeah, I think their robot, or at least the intake, definitely reminds me a lot of Barker Redbacks from Australia. We were talking about them early season, and it's cool to see like how that style of intake is still super effective. I feel like especially for autonomous, it could have a lot of advantages. I think it's just it allows you to pick up from the clumps really effectively and things like that. Rahul, do you think just seeing them perform in New York this weekend, like after that, it's a lock for top 25, or what else do you think they need to do?
Yeah, I think they just winning the New York Championship would go a lot way, and potentially adding that level 3 hang as well. I believe they've got a level 2 ascent, but that I think at Worlds and higher level competitions, a lot of the samples from the submersible will be run out. So at that point, who has the level 3 hang could be the deciding factor.
Totally. Yeah, so my snub is going to be Team 19862 Mecha Mantises from Fremont, California. They were recently the winning alliance captain at the NorCal Regional Championship this past weekend, and they had some very tough matches to win. One thing that really stands out to me about their robot is the turret. I think they use it very effectively, and we've talked about one or two teams with the turret this season, but I think what really turned teams away from it was the extension limits, right, and having that 20 by 42-inch limit. But this clearly hasn't stopped Mecha Mantises. I see them using this very effectively at Worlds for automatically scoring and just really optimizing their specimen cycles as a whole. But yeah, Arjun, you want to start our top 15?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, let's get right into it. So at number 15, we have team 20153 Silver Wolves from Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, with an OPR of 206.56, placing them 11th internationally. They've been a standout team this season, showcasing both their technical skill and strategic gameplay. The teleop is dialed in, and their smooth, efficient scoring makes them a constant threat on the field. Silver Wolves are excellent at adapting to different match scenarios, maintaining control, and they're really capitalizing at every single opportunity. I can't wait to see how this team and what they'll accomplish in the future.
Yeah, Rahul, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the robot's like really impressive, and it seems they've spent so many hours on driver practice and consistency. And I can't wait to see more of them in more future competitions.
Yeah, I know you had mentioned before about with TechnoZ like moving in parallel, and it seems like they have a really neat action there going with their intake and the specimen cycling. So yeah, huge fan of that as well. But yeah, let's hear about your 14th, top
At
14.
number 14, we've got Team 21380 Beyond Robotics from Southern California with an OPR of 207.61. I recently interviewed this team on Behind the Bot just a few weeks ago, and it's truly breathtaking to watch on the field. The robot has so many features which can double with having multiple purposes. Their intake has multiple specified intake angles to really help with intaking from the submersible, and that can be seen in their sample teleup run. Their outtake arm doubles as a specimen scoring, as we've seen from many teams, and this has enabled them to achieve this really consistent and efficient 5 specimen autonomous. I think teams can learn from this in using the same mechanism for multiple parts of the game rather than making separate mechanisms. And with SoCal Regionals coming right up in a week or so, it'll be a very strong team to watch and what is going to be a very competitive region as well.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks. And in 13th place, we have Team 3189 Rapid Unscheduled Disassembly from Powell, Wyoming. They were the Inspire Award winner and Winning Alliance captain at the Wyoming Championship and currently have the 10th highest global teleop OPR. They're another team proving the effectiveness of the double extension with claws design. But what stands out to me is how long their arms are. We can see it on the screen right now. I think the benefit of this is that their slides don't have to lift as high, and it actually does make a significant difference, right? It just speeds up your cycles just a little bit more, making all those actions in parallel. And what's impressive to me is how smooth it is, right? Like I think a lot of teams will see a lot of overshoot or just wobbling back and forth, but 3189 is just really on point with it. Having qualified for Houston, I think the biggest things they need to focus on is making sure they can collect and score in defensive situations. We can see with the match right now, it's basically a practice run for them. They have access to the entire submersible wherever they want to go. This is just not going to be the case in Houston. So I think focusing on those, and they definitely have the driving ability to do so, and also speeding up those autos to get like 6 to 7 samples and making it very, very consistent. Anthony, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think their driving is on point. Just their efficiency is really key right here, and it's really good. And I can't wait to see how they can keep improving it and how they can keep going from here, because they're already have an OPR of 206. So just seeing where they can go from here is really gonna see where they can go and qualify and rank at the world stage.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, why don't we move on to number 11 then, Arjun? Or sorry, number 12. Anthony, go ahead.
All
Yes.
right, so at 12, we're going to go back overseas. We have team 14872 Orbit Knights from Israel. With an OPR of just over 202, they are ranked 17th of the world. I know this bot and this team from their solo video that we see here that was absolutely astonishing. And they're being sister teams with FRC Team 1690 Orbit, last year's championship winners. Their dual compliant wheel active intake that holds the sample in place gets paired with a fast drivetrain and a quick climber in a box allows them to hit 19 sample cycles that they do in this video. They unfortunately miss one of them and it falls on the ground, but still could have been 19. To top this all off, they have a level 2 climb that's quick and gets them off the ground fast so they can keep scoring the max number of points and all the way until the end. They compete in the Israel Championship March 19th through 20th, and I cannot wait to see how they do.
Yeah, Rahul, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think their sample cycles are truly impressive. One thing I saw, I believe their pivot is a capstan drive, which is like something really unique, and you can kind of see how stable their pivot mechanism is, and that's really allowing them to have a lot of consistency on every cycle.
Yeah, I think right now there are 40 points higher in OPR from the next Israeli team. So definitely looking like a strong contender going into Israel National Championships. And if they can fit that level 3 hang as well, given that they have about a month until they compete, I think it's going to be really, really impressive. Yeah, Arjun, let's hear about number 11.
Yeah, for sure. So at number 11, we have 18270 Robo Kings from Irving, Texas, with an OPR of 219.1. This gives them the top 7 seat OPR based seat in the entire world. They've been turning heads with their constant performance and their well executed strategy. Their autonomous is highly efficient, no doubt due to their active intake and excellent programming, and their ability to quickly cycle, especially with that intake, just being able to pick things up really, really fast and score under pressure, shows some serious skill for both the mechanical and programming side. They're excellent as well as maintaining control through a match, which is something that's a really big factor this year, and using their active intake and their drivetrain, which is extremely fast, along with the two, to complement their outtake to have a really smooth execution, and it minimizes their impact in the scores, as you can see. So they're working to refine the robot, push their limits, and they're shaping up to have a serious splash at Worlds.
Yeah, I'm doing a behind the bot with RoboPlayers this weekend, so I'm really excited to record them. They're super super awesome. They were Inspire Award winner at their North Regional Championship, so they'll be in Houston again. And I think they just always have like such a fast robot, so I'm really excited to talk about it. Rahul, anything that stands out to you about them?
Yeah, I think their intake is like really impressive. It's got side rollers, I believe, too, and I think it's so effective at collecting samples, even when there's other robots pushing them, and I think that's going to really help them in the future, any future competitions. And yeah.
Cool. Yeah, let's go on. Let's start our top 10 then.
At number 10, we've team 16640 GEarheads from Wisconsin with an impressive 8th ranked OPR of 217.85. Their robot features so much mechanical complexity, which has been gone onto the recent behind the bot with their differential slides, differential claw, a ground-based active intake, a powered takeoff for a 5-second level 3 hang, and just so much more that teams can learn from. They're one of the teams that I truly believe have mastered the art of bringing all of their specimens to the human player zone and scoring them all at the end. It's very clear how much time they've spent practicing every cycle. They're able to score 10 specimens to the human player zone in just a minute and score them all in rapid succession with time to still complete their level 3 ascent. And their robot just features so much that teams can learn about. And I think the next step would be to add intaking from the submersible into their autonomous routine. GEarheads is regularly a very strong team with that unique differential slides from Wisconsin and at the World Championship. And I can't wait to see how they're going to do with the Wisconsin Championship and hopefully some future higher level events coming up very soon.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a ton on this robot when I interviewed them. So, Anthony, I want to hear your thoughts. Maybe you haven't talked about them as much.
Yeah. Yeah, so GEarheads, their speed is really something that is astonishing to me, how fast they're able to just score those. And what's really interesting is how low their robot looks. It's one of those short robots that reminds me of something like Cookie Bots from last year, where it was really short and didn't have much of a wheelbase and much that stuck out at the top. And I think that's really key, helps them to be as fast as they are because most of their weight is low to the ground. They're just, you can tell they've spent a lot of drive practice and done a lot of optimization by how fast they score these specimens. It's crazy. And so I can't wait to see what they do from here on out to see
Totally.
and make an impact.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to ninth place, we have the team currently ranked ninth globally by non-penalty OPR, Team 19098 Eastern Foxes from Ploiești, Romania. They competed in early February and are ending as the finalist Lions captain at the South Romania League tournament. They put up 400 points, 400 plus points multiple times. And we talked about them last month having one of the fastest lifts this season, making them a killer sample robot. And I think what they've really improved is their intaking in the submersible, just leveling up their game as a whole. To me, the biggest thing that I think we'll be seeing is how they play against defense. There was a bit of defense in their matches at their South League tournament, but not as much as I think we'll see at Romania Nationals. And I feel like they could really have one of the highest scoring sample autonomouses out there. So I'm really interested to see if they can do like a 0+8 consistent, or maybe even something more. Yeah, on the topic of very high autonomous programs, Anthony, you want to start us off with number 8?
Yeah, at number 8, we have Team 21311 Line Robotics Gold from Clear Lake, Iowa, with an OPR of 220.34. That puts them at number 6 in the world. They're currently the world record holders with 450 points. In the match we see here, they have an 8-sample autonomous, which they score the preload, grab the sample from right next to the other robot, hit the other 3 on the spike marks, and then cycle 4 more. They hit 21 samples total, which is 13 in teleop. They pair this with a level 2 climb. This makes them one of the most dominant bots out there. With a game where Auton is key, they have nailed this down. They compete in the Iowa Championship this upcoming weekend, and they will be giving Iowa some very big competition. I hope to see some great things from them, and hoping to see them at either Worlds or a Premier event.
Yeah, and I know I'm probably going to jinx them having said this, but it's still so impressive regardless. They're currently 41-0 in matches this season. So it's insane that they've played 41 matches when there's some teams that have qualified for Worlds having played less than 10. But B, having won every single one of those matches is just like nuts. So yeah, I did a behind the bot with them today, so that'll be out like in the next week or so. Totally go check that out. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah, let's go on to number 7. Arjun?
Yeah. So with number 7, we are looking at the number 7 spot. We have Team 20077, the Indubitables. They've been a force to reckon with, and their accuracy that they've been able to achieve in the autonomous period is something truly exciting. Their 4th place rank in the world with a 53-point average autonomous is something that really stands out. And the simplicity and the accuracy of their design, while also making it completely effective and also simple at the same time, is the perfect match. Their optimization process that their optimization process from the start of the season is something that's truly unique. And their most recent switch up to putting parts in carbon fiber to reduce the weight to add more speed on a robot that already zips around the field is going to be something to really see. And the claw outtake and intake show a really good balance between mechanical and the programming side. I think these guys are serious contenders. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Rahul, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I can't wait to see. I saw a side by side of their old bot and their new carbon fiber one. I just really want to see that one zipping around that field because that's going to be quite light and quite fast. I can't wait to see how they do in more competition.
Totally. Okay, let's hear about number 6 then, Rahul.
And in number 6, we've got team 14903 SharkBots with a global 4th ranked OPR of 26.65. Their robot was recently featured in depth on Behind the Bot, and there's just so much to learn from them. Utilizing 3 motors and helical spools for their deposit slides, which double as a hanging mechanism, their sample cycles are blazingly fast. They have clearly spent hours and hours in driver practice, making sure every cycle is consistent and fast, truly hitting those very high teleop scores with one of the highest teleop OPRs in the world. Being able to align with a claw-based intake that fast is truly impressive, and I can't wait to see how they're going to do at their regional championship in 2 weeks and potentially at Worlds again, especially when there's going to be more robot-to-robot contact and in programming more higher autonomous, especially on the sample side.
Absolutely. All right, so before we get into our top 5 and our top 50 shoutouts, we're going to draw for our Spark Fun giveaway, start another one. Tyler, take it away.
Yeah, we'll be drawing for that Spark Fun giveaway. Once again, Spark Fun was your keyword for that, so make sure you do type that in order to enter, or hopefully you already did enter. But let's go ahead and draw for a winner for that. If you do win, please go to funroboticsnetwork.com and click the giveaway winner link in order to win that as well. Don't forget that this sensor is perfect for FTC teams, and make sure you give it a try. There's a lot of FTC teams out using it this year, so hopefully if you win it, you get a great chance and opportunity to try it as well. And the winner is going to be Davis Luxembourg. Congratulations, Davis Luxembourg. You have won the giveaway. Make sure you go to funroboticsnetwork.com and click on the giveaway button in order to claim. So we will be going in a few more things as well, but we're going to be taking another pause here. Stop and thank StudiCut Robotics for their continued support of Fun. Here's what you need to know about StudiCut Robotics. Incredibly durable structure with T6 aluminum, anodized, no rough edges, and they offer their structure in 6 different colors. Tons of new products have been coming out, so make sure you go to studica.com/robots to learn about all their new products. And if you are a team in the US, Studica does offer free samples, 25% discount for FTC teams, and even grants for FTC teams that you can apply for. So even if your season's ending and maybe you want a side project to work on, go to studica.com/robots, give their stuff a try, see why they are one of the top sellers in Canada and why they're going really strong here in the US as well too. So scan that QR code or go to studica.com/robots. They're also sponsoring a giveaway today as well too. So thank you so much to Studica for sponsoring that giveaway, and it's going to be for the servo power block. This is a 6-volt 60-watt power injector for high power RC servos, delivers up to 60 watts of total output across 8 channels, and does not interfere with the signal. It will only replace the power on the servo with 6 volts. So keyword is power. Type that in right now. That's your opportunity to win, and we'll be drawing for that after our number 1 team. And let's send it back over to the guys to talk about our top 50 list.
All right, so as Tyler said, before we get to our top 5 teams for the top 25, we're going to bring up some teams that just missed out, and that's going to be in our 26 to 50 rankings. So you can see that on the screen. Each one of us has picked one of these teams to give a shout out to as an honorable mention for this month's FTC Top 25. Anthony, start us off.
All right, so my top 50 shout out was Team 8103, N.Y.A Robotics from Kirkland, Washington. They were the previous world record holders of 447, and that's why I gave them this shout out. They have an OPR of only 161.65, ranking them 124th in the world, but they did a lot in the match, as we can see here. They're a fast sample bot with a claw intake into a ramp slide that once dumped the basket, and the samples will fall out. They had 17 samples in this match, which is quite a few. They unfortunately did not qualify past Washington State, but they're a very solid team that I think deserves the recognition, and I can't wait to see what they do in the future.
Yeah, it seems just everything went right in this qualification match for them, and I forgot, just hitting that 0+7 autonomous with those samples was huge, just super consistent playing throughout the teleop, and they had a ton of defense, but they're still able to get through it and set such a high score. So super impressive. Arjun, who is your top 50 shout out?
Yeah, so for my top 50 shout out, I have team 17713 Delta Force from Romania with an OPR of 186.88, placing at 38th in the world. They have proven to be a powerhouse this season. Their efficiency and their consistency in scoring, along with their well-tuned autonomous, make them serious contenders. Delta Force's match play and their execution really set them apart as they're able to impress at every single event. Their intake is very consistent, along with their cycling, which is optimized to the T. They really push it forward to the World Championship, and it's going to be exciting to see how they refine the robot and strategy. And I'm going to keep my eyes on this team.
Cool. Rahul, who did you pick?
My top 50 shoutout is Team 25631 Proxima Nova from Oregon with a current OPR of 180.12. When they dropped videos of the robot a few months ago, the mechanical complexity truly took everyone aback. But they've recently flown under the radar a little bit, but they're still as strong as ever. They're one of the few teams in the world to have scored a 17 specimen match, and their active intake is truly amazing at selecting and filtering out any wrong samples that they do not wish to intake. And I think that's truly what makes their specimen cycles so fast is their intake and then the amount of degrees of freedom on the outtake with that horizontal extension that you can see many of teams have also implemented onto their robot with a double extension, enabling them to travel very little distance to score the specimen. I can't wait to see how they do at the Oregon Championship, and hopefully we'll catch them at either the World Championship or any future premier events.
Awesome. My top 50 shout out is going to be Team 14259 Turbo V8 from Pleasanton, California. I'll just say it. I think they have the best intake I've seen this season. They were the first pick of the winning alliance at NorCal Regionals, ending qualifications with a top 25 global non-penalty OPR, and their intake is just scarily effective. It seems to instantly pick up samples no matter how clumped they are. It automatically rejects the wrong color. It's super reliable. It's just everything you're looking for with an intake. They also have a super fast vertical lift and they just drive really, really well. I'm recording a behind the bot with them this weekend as well. So I can't wait to learn more about what's going on there. I think teams will be able to really learn a lot from them. And given how much time they have to add a level 3 hang, I think they're going to be one of the top teams going into Worlds. So, yeah, I think we had some fantastic teams in the top 26 through 50. So, thank you all for voting. So, now we're going to start our top 5. Starting us off is currently the top teleop OPR team in the world. That's team 14270 Quantum Robotics from Bucharest, Romania. They were the first pick of the winning alliance at the South Romania League tournament and are currently one sample cycle above the next best team in terms of teleop OPR, which is just insane. I think this really comes from that autonomous. You can see right here in a few seconds, they squeeze in just one more sample cycle after 5 specimens. So that gives them a huge leg up every match. They're unbelievably fast at intaking. It seems like they just don't stop moving, which is really, really cool, especially with a claw-based intake. And I'm not really worried about their ability to play through defense. I think they clearly showed they have really good strategy when it comes to there. But I'm just excited to see if they can do that level 3 hang for Romania nationals. Other than that, I think Quantum Robotics has really got it all. Rahul, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think the robot is so impressive with that box tube extension and pivot, and I really want to see them do a sample autonomous as well because I feel like they can be one of those really high sample scoring autonomous with a few of these other teams on the list, and hopefully they'll do really well at the Romanian Championship coming up.
Absolutely. All right, Anthony, let's talk about number 4.
All right, at number 4, we have one of my favorite teams, Team 11260 Up-A-Creek Robotics from Longmont, Colorado. With an OPR of 202.33, they are ranked number 19th in the world. I do not think Up-A-Creek is getting talked about enough this year. Between their 7 specimen auton and their capacity to hit 18 specimen in a match, which they did in the Colorado Championship, really showcases how good this bot is. Their sensing and programming is some of the world's best. This was the team I was talking about that could possibly rival some of the best programming I've seen. The way they grab and score is unique, and everything about this bot is top notch. The way they grab the clips off the wall and put them into their robot it seems like they sense the samples and how to grab them, which does not surprise me. And even though they're a bigger bot, they seem to have the speed and they do not let it get in their way. I cannot wait to see what they do moving forward for the World Championship, as they're a really good team that I love and will definitely be following. I'm not sure what their plans are, whether they want to add a hang or just make their bot more optimized, but I know they're going to be a very big contender for the world stage, and I could see them going pretty far at Worlds.
Yeah, I think the big question here is, do you think we'll see other clip bots given the success of Up-A-Creek? Yeah, Rahul, I want to get your thoughts on it, and then I'll talk about mine after.
Yeah, I think that a lot of it is talked about their mechanical complexity with the clipbot, but I think, as Anthony said, their software on that side is impressive. They have to perfectly align their computer vision to the sample every time, and it's almost like 90-95% accurate. And then controlling all of the servos, all of the actuators, it's just an engineering masterpiece. And I definitely think some teams are going to bring it into play. And hopefully we can see some more competition with them and see how they fare in regards to defense in the submersible and things like that.
Yeah, I personally think we might see like one or two other teams try. Like I know Quality Control has posted some videos about like trying to make a clip bot, but I think the effectiveness of Up-A-Creek, I don't think anyone else will be able to achieve. Like they just have literally a 3 month head start on anyone trying to make a clip bot, and that gives you so much time to work out like all these little issues and optimize every last bit. So I think they're going to be a very unique bot going into Worlds, and I'm interested in what they do with all the extra time left in the match, right? Because they're gonna finish those specimens way faster than anyone else. So I'm interested to see what they do. But Arjun, let's start off our top three.
Yeah. So at top three, we have team 19043 CyLiis. It's a very impressive team from Romania with an OPR of 223.11, and they are ranked top five in the entire world. CyLiis has been a force to reckon with this season, and their performance at the most recent league tournament really showcases their capabilities. With the total OPR and with the total OPR and their stats, it shows that they have precision and consistency at the same time. They've improved themselves as one of the most top teams to watch. Their autonomous routines are smooth and efficient, and their scoring ability is really nothing short of excellent. Their ability to adapt and optimize during matches is really a testament to their skill and their teamwork, especially when they're working together in their drive team. And obviously, their drive practice is really, really good too. They have a very unique approach to their design, and they're able to balance precision and also speed, especially with their outtake and their intake. It's able to evolve and really adapt with the game, which is something really important, I think, this year. So, yeah.
Yeah, CyLiis, they were our number one team last month in top 25. They haven't competed since then, so we haven't seen much more. But as you said, Arjun, I can't wait to see what they do at Romania Nationals. I think it's just going to be awesome. Rahul, let's hear about our second team.
In the second spot, we've got none other than Team 17962 Road to D2 from Romania again, with a second ranked OPR of 230.56. Road to D2 had one of the most successful seasons in FTC last year, being the finest alliance captain at Worlds and the winning alliance captain at MTI, and they've continued that dominance and success into this year. Their robot intake is very fast and efficient at selecting samples, allowing them to achieve a 7 sample autonomous and very high scoring specimens in their game. One part of the robot that I'd like to highlight and stand out to is how small, fast, and maneuverable their chassis is. This helps them significantly with achieving more extension in that 42-inch limit and avoiding defense and other robots on the field. Something that I think will be very key as we get to higher levels of this game at the Romanian Championship and potentially at the World Championship. Another aspect is how good and efficient their intake is. It almost seems that it requires almost no alignment by the drivers to get that sample sucked in with their active intake. And I'm sure everyone is going to be on the edge of their seat watching them and the other strong teams at the Romanian Championship in just a few weeks. And hopefully we'll see them in later competitions such as World as well.
Yeah, I mean, Road 2D2 is just a force every single season. This one is no exception. They've always done extremely well at Romania Nationals, so I'm very much looking forward to see what they do this season. But yeah, so taking home our February top 25 is team 21336. I forgot, from Vancouver, Washington. Last time we talked about them, they hadn't yet competed at States. Since then, though, they took Washington States by storm, ending with the top global OPR thanks to an almost perfect 6 specimen autonomous and level 3 hang. Looking to the World Championship, it's pretty hard to improve the current best robot in the world. Um, I could see them looking at least a little at speeding up their drivetrain by lightening the robot, if at all possible, or shaving a few seconds off the level 3 hang just so they can squeeze in another cycle. But clearly, this robot is obviously is just on another level already. Another option would be building an entirely new robot, but clearly this one works very, very well. Anthony, what do you think they would do to improve for Worlds?
It, like you said, it's hard to look at it, the world's best robot at this point and say how can we improve. Their driving, all that we just saw from them scoring all their specimen was on point. They had some trouble with the first one, but they nailed every other one. Their robot's fast and nimble. I mean, like you said, they could possibly try to speed up their drivetrain a little bit and lose some of that weight, but it's very hard in my mind because they just have nailed everything. So maybe just some, I don't know if they could do some sensing to grab samples out of the submersible if they don't already have that, but they seem to be doing a pretty good job already grabbing from the submersible. So honestly, I'm not entirely sure. It looks amazing to me. So I'll be curious to see what they decide to come up with.
Yeah, I mean, there's always little optimizations to make, right? Counter springing here, making your lift just a little bit faster, more efficient. I think they're going to go down every last rabbit hole. But with that, I think that's going to wrap up our February FTC Top 25. Please let us know what teams you think deserve to be in the top 25 that weren't. Let us know in the Fun Discord or comment on the YouTube video. And don't forget to vote each month for FTC Top 25. Before we end for the night, let's draw for our last giveaway, Tyler.
Yeah, thanks a lot, boss, and great job tonight. Once again, that was for the serial power block from our friends at Studica Robotics. Power was a keyword. If you do win, please go to funroboticsnetwork.com and click the giveaway winner link. Also, shout out to Fernando Silva with their super chat, who says, I'd like to suggest team at 21036 from Brazil. So shout out to 21036 from Brazil as well. The winner of the cerebral power block is going to be JPP Boy. Congratulations to you. You're taking this home. Please go to funroboticsnetwork.com in order to claim. And don't forget, once again, we do have the date for FTC Reveal Night, where you can submit your reveal submission video for Worlds, or even if you're not going, we can still celebrate you. And that is once again on April 11th.
Great. Thank you for all the follows and subscriptions we received today. Don't forget that you can help support the channel through YouTube for ad-free and early access videos. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of FTC Top 25. If you want to stay connected with what Fun FTC is doing, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, all under the handle @FunFTC. Watch our other content on Fun Robotics Network and join our Discord through the link in the chat. With that, on behalf of myself, Anthony, Arjun, Rahul, and our producer Tyler working behind the scenes, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. Please keep an eye out for future new FTC content coming on YouTube. Reveal Night is going to be awesome. Ton of great BTBs coming out and new live shows in general. Thank you all. Good night.
True competitors know that every second counts. That's why Kettering University challenges you to dive in right away as a first-year student. Participating in robotics programs helps Kettering students secure a valuable co-op. Whatever your interest, Kettering gives you more space to work faster and win faster. Learn more at kettering.edu/first. Studica Robotics is everything your team needs to build, learn, and compete. Check out their FTC starter kit, intake hub kit, and odometry wheel options at studica.com/robots. Teams in the USA can get up to 25% off and apply for grants at studica.com/robots.